Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Reading for the sign of Cancer. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. That is exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's reading. We're going to be looking at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Now we'll take a deeper dive into that area of focus. We'll take a look at a block or a challenge around that area, advice from spirit as to how to overcome it, and then we're going to look at a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you on the other side and pertaining specifically to that area of focus that we're going to be starting with here. So right off the bat, we're pulling some cards. That's actually a little too many. Trying to just get one or two here to start the reading. But we did see your card come out, Cancer, which is the moon card here. Your sign is ruled by the moon, and you are definitely one that is very good at following your intuition. So, okay. So Cancer, your energy, this is what you are sitting with currently, is the King of Wands and the Three of Cups. That's actually a very powerful energy to a certain extent. This is the energy of someone who is really sitting in a place of understanding what they're passionate about. They are leading from that place. They're taking responsibility for almost what I would consider bringing your A game to every situation with the King of Wands. This is an individual who literally could be the dynamic CEO. This is the person who could not only be a business owner, but this is the person who maybe also has an extreme hobby and they fully embody that in everything that they do. This would be the person who's like the triathlete who, is always talking about fitness and is ready to go on the next adventure where they're pushing themselves. That kind of person. They lead from their heart. It harnesses the energy of Leo. So for some of you, you may actually have a Leo in your life that you're celebrating with or that you feel very close to at this time on an internal level. But this could also be an aspect of yourself that you're really getting in touch with what your heart yearns for and having the courage to really lead by example with what you are passionate about. And with the Three of Cups, there's a beautiful sense here of connecting with others, of celebrating, of, again, when I was saying bringing your A game, it's like you're bringing your best and brightest self to this feeling of community, tribe, really showing up for others as much as you are showing up as yourself. Very, very positive. So many of you might be in a place of, again, maybe finding your tribe. You could actually be finding yourself in a place right now where you are maybe being invited to social events or where you're just finding yourself surrounded by people who really support you and people that you can support as well. All right, now we're going to see, what does your soul want to highlight for you at this time? Oh, interesting. So you have King of Pentacles. Okay. Now, this is actually for those of you who are going to be watching this around the time as I'm posting this, which is at the end of October. This could definitely pertain to the full moon that is happening. It's a full moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus on the 28th of October, which is Saturday here in the United States. Now, there's a sense that for some of you, there could be something coming up around your focus on the physical plane, on self-value, on what you value in your life, or there could literally be someone in your life who is a Taurus, because that's what the King of Pentacles represents, the energy of Taurus. This is why it's coming up as possibly pertaining to that full moon in Taurus, where there could be someone in your life who is embodying this, someone who is really ready to build in the physical, who is also equally financially responsible. In fact, the King of Wands mixed with the King of Pentacles, these make two very good business partners. This would be the person who brings the fire and the passion, and the person who brings the good common sense to the table. It says, okay, love your idea, but this is how we're going to practically make that happen in the physical world. Now, as this is what your soul is highlighting for you, there's a lot of emphasis around the material plane, meaning your physical experience, which is your time, your energy, your money, your resources, anything you can physically touch and work with in the physical world. It can also speak to really looking at the energy of what you want to build. If you're coming out as really embracing your passions and you're really understanding what you're passionate about, well, how can you then really apply that in a practical, very well thought out way, but also with an understanding of what you value in your life and the value that you in turn bring to your physical experience. So we'll dive a little deeper into that. Now, your main underlying energy is the Nine of Swords, which can be difficult. That's the card of worry. This is the card of those thoughts that keep us up at night of, what if something negative happens? What if it doesn't work out? What if people turn their backs on me? What if, we think about all the things that are happening currently in our world. And yeah, we can all have those worries that keep us up at night. But ultimately, that's what this card does speak to, is that they're just thoughts. We can try to think our way out of every contingency, meaning we're trying to find a way where we can come up with an idea that is not going to have a potential negative what if. But in reality, we all know that that's not the case, right? The only constant in our experience is change. And with change comes things that come out of the blue or out of our field of vision. So underneath the Nine of Swords, we have the Hierophant and we have the Six of Wands. Now, for some of you might have recently gotten married, because that could definitely be the case here with the Six of Wands and the Hierophant. The Hierophant can speak to higher institutions. It can speak to the laws and the institutions that we choose to follow. It can also speak to our belief systems like religion. But with the Six of Wands coming in, there was a success. The Six of Wands is where we get recognition, where we're seen for doing something well. And for many of you, there could have been something here around a marriage or around a commitment. The Hierophant can also be what we choose to commit to and what we believe in. And there may be this sense here for some of you where there might have been either some maybe marital strife, something, maybe even feeling like maybe I can't commit in the way that I had wanted to. That can definitely be something that could cause some worry at night. It can also be where maybe for some of you, there's a sense too of maybe something is shifting. This could actually be where, you got married, everything was great, and now suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I want to change focus. I want to go out there and have fun. And maybe it's impacting your physical experience or vice versa, meaning maybe there's a sense now of really having to focus on the physical. Maybe before this point, it was kind of like we got married, we were in the honeymoon phase, we were doing all the fun things, and now it's like, okay, Cancer, it's time to buckle down. So let's see what's coming in here. I'm going to pull some cards now to take a look at the block or the challenge that's coming in around that King of Pentacles energy. Then we're going to look at advice from Spirit, and then we're going to see the level of abundance or spiritual growth that's really waiting to be given to you at this time, waiting to be experienced. So let's see. What does Cancer need to know? Okay, so here's the Six of Wands again. There's a sense here of, maybe there's a sense for some of you, it's almost like you can't allow yourself to, one of two things. This can be where you're really preoccupied with how you feel that you need to be seen. That can be something sometimes where, we really place on ourselves a high level of expectation that I have to kind of almost meet this heroic status in my life. It can also be where there's a sense of maybe things are going great in your life right now. There's a level of success. People are recognizing you for that. And you might, and I know it sounds kind of crazy to say it in this way, but there's almost this sense of possibly, with the Nine of Swords coming in, this fear that even though everything looks great, even though you have been successful, even though you are being recognized for your hard work, that it's almost like you can't give in to that sense of success. You can't give in to times are great. It all worked out. It happened, because there's this level of, but what if it all falls apart tomorrow? And that can be very difficult. That can be a very difficult energy to sit with when something wonderful is happening in our life is actually underscored by that fear That what if I trip up and everything that I've gained is lost? Now, let's dive a little deeper in here. Remember, you're sitting with some very positive energy, some very powerful energy, actually, that's waiting to, it's almost like you're like this powerhouse waiting to connect. There is a level with the King of Wands and the Three of Cups, too, that could also be about networking. That could be something very much here, Cancer, where you are sitting in that energy that is kind of primed to be able to connect with other people. And again, kind of in your most valuable, in your most, I'd say, true, powerful self. Now, again, Six of Wands coming in here twice. There's a sense of, I think, for many of you needing to have been seen in a certain way, needing to have recognition for how far you've come, having done something. But with the Seven of Swords coming in right after that, there's a sense of a disconnect here. Six of Wands is a card where we are in the spotlight, getting kudos, getting recognition. Yay, homecoming hero. Seven of Swords is one where we are actively trying to avoid something. We're trying to turn our back, trying to turn away from something. So for some of you, this could be that the kind of heavy is the crown, if that makes sense. Meaning you might have been very successful or seen for doing something well. And I mean, again, I kind of say that there's like a heroic quality coming through of like you were the one who was seen as being heroic, of holding down the fort or holding down the business or keeping the family together. And that was your success. And now there's a sense of like, I just kind of want to shirk those responsibilities. Or I know I'm seen this way, but I kind of just want to sneak out the back door. And and I don't want to be seen that way anymore. Or it's what I was saying before. There could be a level of success in some aspect of your life, and you're like trying to avoid fully stepping into the spotlight. And there could be something about that here, especially with the King of Wands and the Six of Wands with the Three of Cups in here, that there might be this sense of like, now is the time to put yourself out there, Cancer. Now is the time to connect at your fullest. It's time to go out there and really get the recognition for stepping into this king status, saying you've taken action in a way that has really brought you in tune with yourself, with what you uniquely, when we think of passion, our passion is what we uniquely bring to every situation. That is us at our essence, is our passion. And for many of you, there might be this sense of it's time now to be seen for that, time to be recognized for that, time to share from that place, time to commit to that place. Excuse me. And you're trying to kind of like, I'm going to go around and around. I'm going to try to not do that. I don't really want to face this. Or I don't really want to tell everybody that I can't keep doing what I've been doing. I can't keep holding the fort. I can't keep being the hero in the situation in the way that I've been. There could be something like that. Now, with the star coming up at the heart of your reading, this is what Spirit is asking you to embrace. This is the dream within your heart. This is like when we think about the Disney song, the dream is a wish our heart makes. This is kind of what the star sums up. It's our main guiding principle. It's when we look up in the night sky, it's the star that we see that is ours, not anybody else's. It's our guiding North Star. And there's a sense of using that clarity in the darkness of night to remember what your passion is meant to unlock in this lifetime. Our unique passion and our guiding principle, or that North Star, are the keys to unlocking our life experience, truly. Now, on the other side of this, with the Six of Pentacles and the Princess of Wands, or the Page of Wands, we are looking at the Six of Pentacles is getting to a level of equilibrium in your physical experience. This is where there is a balance, where you are feeling like what you put in, you are getting back. There's also a sense, too, that the Six of Pentacles can also speak to a change in our experience, where at any given point, we might be on one side of the Six of Pentacles, which could be like where we are giving to others. And at another point in our life, the scales rebalance, and we might be in a receiving stage where we get to receive from others. And that's what brings balance. And so it really does speak to again, that kind of ebb and flow, give and take of life. And we will always be in that flow in a different place at a different time. And so that's why at certain points in our life, we have to kind of readjust, right? We have to look at, okay, I used to be the breadwinner, but now things have changed in my life, circumstances have changed, and now I'm ready to be on the receiving end of things. Maybe I'm now retired and I get to just receive a pension, or my spouse is going back to work and now I get to take some time off, something like that. So there's a sense here of really remembering what your vision for your future self is so that you can see where to bring balance into your life. There's a sense of recalibration here, Cancer, of really being like, okay, wait a second, where do I fit into this picture? What do I really want to be known for? I made a commitment. There's almost like a sense of like being seen as having made a commitment publicly to something. It's almost like, I got married, hooray, and I'm going to support my family. And then you're like, oh my gosh, can I really do that? Like, wait a second. I don't know if I have enough money. I don't know if we can really afford that house. I don't know if that can happen. Or it can be like where you come out and say, I'm committing to opening a new business and this is what I'm going to do. And you're like, yeah, everybody celebrates you and you're like, shoot. But I don't really know if I can make this business successful. So maybe I'm just going to even though I put it out there to everybody that this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of just, sneak out, do the crab walk, right? Sideways, kind of just out of the room. And everybody's like, but wait a second, you just said that you were committing to this. And you're like, what? And in reality, the King of Wands and the Three of Cups, there is a sense of wanting to connect from that place. You want to connect as the king. You want to connect. Whatever you are passionate about here, you want to share that. Because with the Page of Wands, this is what wants to come in for you. This is beautiful energy right here with the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. This is the energy of finding the balance in your life that feels like play. This is saying it's time to go out there and whatever needs to be readjusted in your life with the Six of Pentacles. And for some of you, this could actually be that there is a return on your investment at this time. That maybe you felt like you were putting in time and energy towards something, and maybe you felt like you weren't quite reaping the benefits. And now finally at this point in your experience, you're going to reap the benefits for all the work it took to get to here. And now you get the chance, Page of Wands, to go out and have fun. The Page of Wands is truly the child at play. They get to take the wand and they get to go out there and see in almost like a curious way of just what else can I do? There's an opening up here and a rebalancing in your life experience. But it all hinges around really looking at the star in your life. What is that star? What is that guiding principle? What is getting back to finding that within yourself? What is the dream that's in your heart that you would love to experience in this life? Now, with the Three of Cups coming in as your secondary underlying energy, it says that there's definitely an emphasis on celebration. There's definitely an emphasis on tribe, finding those who are going to support you. Could even be, again, networking. Really getting to that place of, where you're putting yourself out there, putting your cup in, mixing it into the mix with other people's cups. Now we have the King of Pentacles, remembering that is going on over here. So there's a sense, again, of focusing on the physical. Now, for some of you, this could be maybe where might have been too much of a focus on the physical. So keep that in mind for those of you who are sitting in this place of passion. It might be that maybe for a long time, up until this point, you were focused solely on the physical, or a lot on the physical, meaning that you were saving, you were planning, you were building a business, you were going to school. However you were spending your time, energy, and money and resources, you might have been very focused on building something in the physical or attaining something in the physical. And yet now, there's a sense here of getting very much in touch with the passion-oriented side of your experience. It's very different than the physical aspect of our experience. So let's go ahead here and see what is coming in for the Six of Wands. And I'm just going to say you have a lot of Leo energy in here. So it could be, if you have a Leo individual in your life, you might, again, be sharing this energy back and forth. They may be helping you. So the Six of Wands, yeah, the Lovers. Now this could be the Six of Wands. This could be being, again, celebrated or seen for being in a relationship. This could also be choosing what you love. So for many of you, this could be committing to what you love. And there may be a sense of like, oh yeah, with the Eight of Cups coming in. Okay. Yeah. Eight of Cups is a card that says it's time for us to finally walk away from something. Something is no longer emotionally fulfilling to us. Now, this could speak to, with the Eight of Cups and the Lovers, that maybe for some of you, you did commit to a relationship. This could be, again, this is pertaining maybe to a marriage. You may be committed to something and you're like, I love this person. They're wonderful. And you're like, but now something has changed. You know, you've gone through a difficult time in your life and you're realizing, oh my gosh, what I was once celebrated for and what I felt was a success and getting married to this person, it's no longer bringing me that happiness. I don't feel successful anymore. When I'm being seen in this way, I don't feel successful. Now, this could also be that you committed to, let's say, a business. And yes, you've been seen and you've been, this is like receiving praise for, let's say, having a successful business in your community or out in the world, and everybody sees you as that and they're like, hooray, we love you, you're the whatever. You make it up, you're the donut queen, or if you have a restaurant, or you're the person who whatever makes something that everybody knows about. And suddenly you're realizing, oh my gosh, but I'm passionate about something else now. It could be like, wait a second, I'm passionate about something else. And it might be like, again, like what I was saying, this kind of feeling of heavy is the crown. Like you crowned yourself with some type of responsibility that you were recognized for and you committed to it. And you said, wow, I that's how you wanted to be seen at one point. But now there's a sense of maybe realizing, I don't want to be seen in that way anymore. It doesn't fulfill me, whether it's a relationship in a person, whether it's being seen as the owner of a business and you're like, it's time for me to put it down. It could very much be that. And that's what's going to bring balance into your life. This could even be for those of you who are like, let's say, wanting to sell a business or something like that. But there is a sense of getting back in touch with a dream in your heart that maybe either you lost connection from at some point, or maybe, I do feel sometimes the star can mean that like this is our guiding principle, but it can also be that that dream can expand, that as we've gotten older, as we've gotten more experienced, that dream shifts, it changes. We start to see more of the star. The star might actually grow bigger and illuminate more of our kind of field of perception. And so there's a sense here that there might be a larger vision for yourself at this time. Now with the Seven of Swords, we have the Empress and we have the Ace of Cups. The Empress and the Ace of Cups, this can speak to becoming a parent. This can speak to, so for some of you, you might be, trying to maybe avoid, because this could be something where like either maybe you want to become a parent or you want to focus more on your creativity. That's definitely the Empress. She holds space for what she would like to create in this world. The Ace of Cups is new love. This is a fresh connection to the self. The Empress also harnesses the energy of Taurus and Libra. There's the energy of Venus, which brings us back again to the Taurus full moon in the sense of really looking at what we value and how we want to create from that place. It's almost like asking yourself, what do you want to create more of in your life? And is it from a place of what you love? The Ace of Cups is, again, the potential for new love, the potential for almost a renewal of the self. I look at it sometimes as almost like how people would probably feel being born again as they're baptized into, a new religious faith. But there's a sense of like wanting to turn your back. Now, for some of you, this could actually be where you're trying to not, like, this could be where maybe you were so focused on, let's say, a business in the past, and maybe you got married but you've been seen as like, you're the successful businessman or woman out there. And now you're like, but I know my heart is calling for me to take care of my family. I really want to be in the home, or I really want to focus on having children or current children I already have. And yet you're trying to kind of like turn your back on that and be like, I don't know. I mean, I've always been seen as, it's almost like having to give up one version of yourself as you've always been seen, and then having to actually admit to what your heart is yearning for. And that might be, again, the part of the Six of Pentacles, is maybe you have been the one to give, support, and now it's time for you to be in a state of receiving. That's also the element of the Empress, is that she is in a continual state of receiving, as she is holding space for what she is looking to give birth to and create more of. So this could also be for those of you, maybe this is like where you're turning away from maybe a time in your life where you worked, and now it's like, I know that's what I was seen for, what I was known for, but now I just want to be creative. There could definitely be that potential here too. So let's see here with the Star. We have the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so that's where the worry is coming in here. The Queen of Wands is the energy of Aries. Some of you might have an Aries placement in your chart. I definitely check that out. If that's the case, you might have an Aries in your life. But I feel like for many of you, this is about tapping into the core of your own passion. And there's a fear around that. There's something that's like coming up that says, this is what I love now. This is how I want to lead from what I'm passionate about. So the Queen of Wands is the counterpart to the King of Wands. The Queen of Wands is that fiery, dynamic individual. She, again, shows up unapologetically as herself. And she also is someone who blooms where she's planted, because she knows that if she wants to grow sunflowers in a barren desert, it is her passion alone that will make that happen. There's a sense of kind of tapping into that witch archetype that lies within each one of us. That power of manifestation that comes when we are so in tune with our passion, we are just living it. We don't have to worry. We're not second guessing, should I show myself this way or not? Should I hide this part of myself or not? No, you just show up as yourself unapologetically. But there's a feeling here, I think for many of you, you want to be seen in a new way. You want the freedom to express from that place. You want the freedom to bloom now where you're planted, wherever that is. But there's a lot of worry because of a previous commitment. And a previous commitment, I think, to how you have been seen or what you were once recognized for previously. So this could be like, this could be, for instance, like the actor who is out in the world, who maybe was always being seen as being in, these Oscar-winning, deep productions, that, were very serious. And all of a sudden the person's like, I don't want to act like that anymore. I know that's what I've been known for. I know it's what I committed to. But heck, I just want to go out and have fun. Like, I just want to... Maybe I don't want to act anymore. Like, I always think of like the, what's the one actor, Jared Leto, where he, is almost more famous now for his 30 Seconds to Mars. And he kind of just pops up in random things. Like, he's just like here and there and everywhere. And he just embraced his full creativity. He just took a pivot one day in acting, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, I'm going to be a rock star. It's like, okay, you go with your bad self. But there's a sense here, Cancer, about that there's almost like a sense of like having been known for something, and maybe you just want to do something now that feels more in line with just channeling your creativity, however that's coming through. Now, with the Six of Pentacles, which is speaking to where that balance, a shifting balance in your physical experience. You have the Fountain and you have the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords really speaks to not being able to see a way out of something, a way forward to do something. The Fountain speaks to two things for me. Now, in this deck specifically, the Fountain can speak to almost giving in to, like, surrendering yourself to the universe. What do I mean by that? It's almost like hitting that point of enlightenment when we think of the Buddhist monks sitting on top of a hill in the cold, in the snow, and yet they're generating their own heat, and they're just in this place of stillness and knowing and experiencing everything at one time. And that's kind of what the Fountain speaks to. It's like going through that rip in time to where you're just a part of everything at one time and nothing at the same time. You're just it, one with everything. But it's also about tapping into creative genius. It's about tapping into universal intelligence. It's about going into the fountain of all of existence. And there's a sense here of almost like wanting to just at once surrender, but at the same time, not seeing how to do that, not seeing how to give in to what your heart is yearning for at this time. Very interesting. I think for many of you, the way to see how to bring balance into your life is simply to surrender, is simply to tap into that, to allow that creative energy to flow and for you to almost be baptized in it, to kind of get back in touch with the essence of yourself, of your soul, truly. And I think that's really what I'm seeing now come through here with the King of Pentacles, is that there's a sense now of having to turn away from such a strong focus. Now I have 2 additional cards that came out here. So, the Star and the Devil again. Okay, so we'll get into this. And at the bottom, 4 of Wands. Yeah. Okay. So Cancer. There's a sense here of you don't see a way forward, but it's almost like you have to trust. There's a sense of true surrender coming through. Trust to divine intelligence. Almost like trust your destiny. Trust that what you're feeling called to do now, or feeling the need to express, or feeling like you want to walk away from being seen in a certain way. It's saying trust that, because that's what's going to bring balance into your life experience. Now with the Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands, there's the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords, which is an interesting progression. But the 5 of Swords came out first. Now, the 5 of Swords, to me, when I look at how these 2 cards came out, it's almost like asking yourself, why are you fighting giving in to play? Why are you fighting giving into enjoyment of your life? Why are you, resisting that? And what I think with the 4 of Swords coming in here is asking you to really reflect on that. Why are you trying to push away something that feels like fun and play, which is the Page of Wands? Now, this could even be, if this is about children, this could be like, why are you resisting spending more time with your children or your child? And be like, because in the reflecting point of the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, you're going to discover where there's heartache from the past, and probably also why you needed to kind of put on this persona of being seen in a certain way, or wanting to be seen in a certain way, or wanting to have recognition, is because it's hiding some pain coming through from the past. Maybe you were maybe that inner child within, the creative part of you was wounded. Maybe you failed in some aspect of your life, and so you pushed and pushed and pushed to be successful at that aspect of your experience. But there's a sense now of kind of ease coming in, wanting to come in for you, but it does mean that you have to walk away from something, I think, that you once loved, whether it was a relationship that now you know it's time for you to follow your heart in a new way, whether it's to, again, maybe switch from being seen in the work world to focusing on family, or whether it's simply saying, I know I've always been seen this way, but it's time for me to put the crown down and I just want to create in a totally different way in my life. Because then we have the Devil and the Star. And the Devil is what we're chained to. It's what we tell ourselves we can't break those chains that bind. And there's something with the Star coming in, there's something with the Devil that you almost feel, I think for many of you, like, if I give into this, if I give into my Star, I can't. There's like a sense of, I keep feeling like somebody like wants to go towards their Star, that they want to connect with others, they want to join the party, they want to go out and create and do it feels good, but they made a commitment. But no. And that's what's chaining you back here at the Devil. It's the commitment or your belief system. This could even be where you maybe had committed to a religion, or this could even be where, like, let's say you started a business like years ago. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's say like Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is a Cancer. So let's kind of use him as an He's a Cancer Sun. Let's put this in here. So like, let's say he committed to building electric cars, and he really saw that as, wow, that's what he wanted to do. So he committed to it, and electric cars are the cars of the future, and I'm going to build a whole infrastructure, and that's how I'm going to be seen, and my Teslas are going to be seen everywhere. And now all of a sudden he's like, I don't care about electric cars. You know what? I don't even think they're the wave of the future anymore. And I know I busted my butt, and I went at it, and I went at it, and I pushed, and I pushed. But holy heck, I just don't care anymore about electric cars. I want to paint and travel the world and spend time with my children. It could be something like that. And all of a sudden, it's like, but then he sits there and says, but I made a commitment to my company. But I made a commitment to be there for my clients, for the people who want to buy my product. And I'm saying, well, yeah, that's the truth. But at a certain point, maybe that was the dream. Maybe that was the star, right? I want to build an empire. I want to build a business that everybody's going to know about. I want to have my face on every, whatever it is. And now suddenly you realize the dream in your heart has shifted. And now you've accomplished a part of that dream you have. But now it's saying, but now the new dream is the freedom to just wake up every day and not have my day-to-day, not to have every minute of every day planned out, Page of Pentacles. Not to have to be the one who is sitting at the head of my company. That's the King of Wands. I just want to go out now and have fun. And so this could actually be where you have to sit there and break the chains to this original commitment. Like, yeah, I know I made it. And this could be, again, a commitment to somebody to say, like, I know I have to break the chains of our commitment, but I have to follow a new dream in my heart, or I have to leave this place of business that I've worked at for so long, and I was very successful, and I was seen as doing a great job, but I don't love it anymore. And my dream now is just to simply focus on the little things in life. Because we also have the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands speaks to taking it back to basics. It also speaks to celebrating how far you've come. The Four of Wands is a foundation that is celebrated by others. It is a strong foundation to build on. And for many of you, there's a sense, now with the Hierophant and the Four of Wands coming up, this definitely could speak to marriage. Those two cards together often pertain to that. Sorry, guys, let me go ahead and take a drink. So this may have to, there could be something here around reflecting on a relationship and realizing, either the foundation, maybe the foundation is what you're going back to say, okay, we have a strong foundation. And yes, maybe things got a little off the rails or things are not balanced now. But there's something that it's time to change. So let's go back to what we know is stable, the love we have for each other. And then now, how can I start to work with my partner to go out and have more fun? How can I start to communicate with my partner that I want to shift away from focused on the physical to more focus on what feels like passion and creativity in my life? This can also be for some of you, and I'm just going to say this, it probably will be for one or two of you. There could be something here around someone cheating. Three of Cups could be someone getting in between a relationship. Sometimes I can speak to a third-party situation. So there may be something. This could actually be where you might even be worried about, like almost like with the Nine of Swords. There may be something here where you're worried, like, oh my God, is my partner going to cheat on me? If I put myself in a vulnerable position, is that going to happen? But this could also be where maybe a relationship that was seen as strong and unbreakable, maybe there has been somebody or something that has come in between. So if that's the case, take what resonates. And that maybe a new dream, a star maybe is you might be saying, well, that was the dream, was this relationship and this person, and suddenly now that dream is getting blown out of the water because of someone coming in between us. And that might need to say, okay, well, if that's the case, then it's time to face what you want to create more of in your life and have the courage to walk away from something now towards keeping the vision alive in your heart and say, if it's not going to happen here with this person, I know that it's out there somewhere for me, and I got to go out there with the innocence of a child to have fun in life again. Now, that might be, again, just for one or two of you out there who's watching this. For the majority of you, this is going to be simply about a change in a shift in focus towards the creative, the receptive, the getting back in touch with what you love, your own passions, and living from that place, having fun, going to the parties, going to the celebration, celebrating how far you've come, and realizing that we can change at any point in our life. We don't have to sit there and say, just because we committed to something when we were 25 doesn't mean that when we're 55 we can't say, hey, it's time for me to close that business and become a painter. Or, hey, I may have started out as an actor, but now I just want to be a stay-at-home parent, or now whatever it is. But there's definitely something about unchaining yourself from a past commitment, and realizing that we can, at different points in our life, again, the Six of Pentacles, that bringing balance and a sense of reciprocity in our life means that we might be on a different side of the give and take coin. But I do feel now that the give and take world for you, that wheel turning, is a move away from the physical and is more about focus on the creative and the passion. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to pull a final card to wrap up the reading, and then we'll say adieu. Okay, so Cancer, let's see here. What does... I just want to see here. What? Oh, okay, yeah. It's all about that Queen of Wands there. It's about giving into passion. And there's a sense here of also showing up as your most authentic self and being seen for that. And for many of you, again, there might be a shift of like, I've always been seen this way, but now I'm ready to be seen in this way. Now I want to bloom. I want to grow a different garden than the one I've originally, grown or planted. Okay, so we have 3 coming up. Yeah, let's see here. So yeah, this definitely pertains to this here. So we have 3 cards. Surrender, fear. And there's a lot of fear around that with the 9 of Swords coming in. So surrender, fear. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. So yeah, don't be worried. There's a sense here of kind of getting out of that state of fear and anxiety, and instead really looking at just showing up as you're giving into what you're passionate about, giving into your creativity, giving into realizing that maybe on this side of that, this next phase is a phase of receptivity for you, of receiving. Open yourself up to receiving. That's the main message of this reading. All right, so it says surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Now, this can definitely pertain to people in your life, especially if this is a relationship that you're possibly looking at ending or the changing dynamic. Now, this also could be, again, there may be people who don't support you and as you go forward as this new version of yourself or as you change. And sometimes we have to just say, okay, we're letting that go. But the unhealthy relationships can also pertain to things in our life, to a way of being. This could be like you have an unhealthy relationship with work, and so you're a workaholic. And that would directly speak to surrender your addiction. So maybe you're addicted to working 20 out of 24 hours a day, literally. And you're going to sit here and say, well, that's the relationship I have with work. And it's like, but is that really healthy for you now? Are you getting a return on your investment for all that time you're putting in? Are you robbing yourself of a chance to play and enjoy your life? There can be an unhealthy relationship with how you want to be seen. This could be like, well, I need to be seen in this way because it flatters my ego. And but at the heart of my heart, when I really look at myself, I don't really care anymore about being seen that way. I really just want to follow my heart, celebrate, show up as my fiery self, and clink cups with other people and follow my creativity. And yet the relationship you have with yourself is that I have to be seen in this way. Maybe it was a sense because you were disempowered in an aspect of your life, at some point you feel like being seen in a certain way empowered you. So there's a sense here with surrender unhealthy relationships and surrender your addictions. It says whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So yeah, don't be afraid of the change that's taking over in your life. And anywhere you feel that there is an unhealthy relationship that's robbing you of a sense of feeling like you can follow your heart, like you can give into your creativity, that you can feel like a child at play. There's a sense about really looking at why you're continuing to put yourself in that position and how can you again start to change that. How can you maybe build a new relationship with yourself through building a new relationship with your children, spending more time with your kids. There's something definitely that could be like where you were a workaholic, but now you realize, but I'm yearning to spend more time with my family. And you're like, okay, so my addiction was being a workaholic. So now how can I start to every day take 1 hour out of my day and start to repurpose that towards my family? And then tomorrow I'm going to make it 2 hours, that kind of thing. It's like a little bit at a time. And it will take time. Anytime we have a major shift like this, especially pertaining to our star coming in and the Empress coming in and all these major arcanas, and when we're reshifting what we commit to, what we believe in, these are major internal spiritual shifts. And yeah, it's going to take some time. But it says here, Cancer, that you are entering a new state of receptivity, a new state of I think, being seen in a new way. But you're entering into a state that's going to lead to a sense of feeling like fun, like you can just go out and be a child at play. So don't turn your back on your creative nudges. Don't try to pour yourself more into almost doing like the opposite with like the 5 of Swords here. Don't try to even like say like, I'm going to double down. And instead of like selling Tesla, I'm going to make Tesla even bigger. And I'm going to something like that, like taking back to Elon Musk, where instead of like surrendering, to the fact that his heart isn't in it anymore. Instead, he's going to double down and go bigger. And that's where some people might choose to do that. It's free will. But you might rob yourself of a cycle and a time in your life where things will be easy, where things will flow for you, where people will give to you, and where you'll have a chance to really get into that flow state of fun and creativity. So don't let that opportunity pass you by, Cancer. All right, I will leave it here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me to take a look at what your soul would most like you to know at this time, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next illumination reading. Bye, Cancer.